Welcome into the Commanders Report. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. I'm currently on vacation, guys, but wanted to get a video out today because it is the Commanders' off day at training camp. And I wanted to get a video out to kind of break down what has been happening over the last day or so at practice. And I also wanted to break down my list of training camp winners to this point in Commanders training camp. I got 8 winners, but I do want to give some of my thoughts on day 3 of Commanders training camp practice as well. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already for the latest surrounding Commanders training camp. Of course, tomorrow fans will be allowed to be in attendance for practice, so that will be a lot of fun. Still awaiting the news on a Terry McLaurin extension. When that news drops, we will have a video for you guys on this channel for free. So make sure you click that subscribe button to join the fastest growing fan community for Commanders fans anywhere here on YouTube. All right, so I want to start with some of my thoughts on yesterday's practice, because we didn't get a video out yesterday, unfortunately. But yesterday was really the defense's day, all right? Whether it was first team, second team, the defense was the star of the show. Now, the first 2 days of practice, I would say Jayden Daniels and the offense were certainly moving the football well. They were doing a really good job. They were scoring touchdowns. But then yesterday, lots of interceptions, actually. There was, I believe, 4 total interceptions, and 3 of them coming from Jayden Daniels, the quarterback. Multiple tip passes. I think it was Quan Martin tipped the first one right to Mikey Samerstrill. Tyler Owens picked off Marcus Mariota over the middle of the field. Bobby Wagner had an interception on Jayden Daniels as well, and then Trey Amos intercepted Daniels on a pass intended for Deebo Samuel in the end zone. So, there's been a lot of hoopla on Commanders Twitter and NFL Twitter that, Jayden Daniels threw 3 interceptions. It's time to panic. No, it's not. All right, it's just not. First of all, he doesn't have his number one weapon out there in Terry McLaurin. Second of all, the defense at this point in training camp is usually the one that's more ahead of things because they don't have as extensive of a playbook. Also, the Commanders defense has a little bit more continuity at this point. And the offensive playbook, let's face it, it takes a little bit of time for that unit to get acclimated and all these different things, and it's more unique than a defensive playbook in the National Football League. So at this point in camp, usually the defense usually has the advantage over the offense anyway. But as we know, guys, Jayden Daniels takes very good care of the football when he's in games. Last year, he was top 5 in turnover-worthy play percentage. I believe he was second in the entire league in that category. So that's not necessarily something that we need to worry about when it comes to Jayden. I just think, there's in training camp, what a lot of people don't realize is sometimes you want to test things out. You want to test what windows you can fit that ball into. You just try certain throws, and this is where you kind of figure out what you're capable of accomplishing on the field in an actual NFL game. And what that means is you're going to be firing it into some tight windows, and some of those things are going to get tipped, some of those things are going to get picked. It's all part of the process, all right? So people overreacting to some interceptions that Jayden threw yesterday, it's not a big deal whatsoever in my opinion. I still have all the confidence in the world in him, and in those first 2 days, no interceptions, looked fantastic, so I'm not worried whatsoever about Jayden. But it's also very encouraging for the defense that they're making plays on the football, that they're playing with good instincts. Seeing a guy like Tyler Owens, who's playing with the first teamers as the big nickel or the bandit safety, whatever you guys want to call it. It's really good to see him making plays. He's done a really good job to this point, and he's, spoiler alert, going to be on our winners list here in just a second. But overall, the defense looked really good yesterday. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from that group. And then, the offense, I'm not, excuse me, I'm not worried about the offense whatsoever. But now we can move on to our winners list here of the first few practices of Commanders training camp. Want to give my list of guys that I think are really showing out, that are really doing well by themselves, all these different things, and people that are helping their positioning on this roster heading into the preseason and into the season, of course. So I'll start here with a few rookies. Trey Amos is my first name on the winners list, the cornerback out of Ole Miss. He got the first team reps at number 2 corner to start training camp practices over Jonathan Jones after he signed his rookie contract shortly before camp, and he has looked phenomenal to this point, man. He's looking like every single bit worth that second round pick. He's looking like a steal in the second round even. Had that big interception in the red zone yesterday during the red zone period, covering Deebo Samuel, who is currently this team's best receiver, with Terry McLaurin not present. So Amos is doing a really, really good job, guys. I'm really excited for his rookie season, and that would probably technically make Jonathan Jones a loser because he's not practicing with the first team offense. But I think that Jonathan Jones has been looking pretty darn good with the second team defense as well. So keep that in mind. I think that corner was a big time weakness for this team last year. It's looking like a strength heading into this season for the Washington Commanders, which obviously is really, really good news. Another rookie that is really showing out right now, guys, is Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. The running back drafted in the 7th round out of Arizona. He was the Shrine Bowl MVP this year, and he is looking awesome out there, man. Dan Quinn, the head coach, noted how violent his cuts are. And, when you don't have pads on, the people that can run fast, like people that can make explosive cuts, those are the players that really stand out to you. And Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt definitely brings that juice to the table. That's not necessarily to say that Brian Robinson Jr. or Austin Eckler have been looking bad, but I would say that Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is the one that is turning heads the most at the running back position through these first few practices in Ashburn. So that's really good news. Another rookie that is making some waves here is Ja'Corey Brooks. And Brooks is a receiver out of Louisville. He's a former Alabama recruit, really talented individual, and he went undrafted after being the #1 target for Tyler Shuck, who is now in New Orleans at Louisville last year. And he has made some awesome catches, man. He has looked awesome out there, grabbing touchdowns, making contested catches, working with the second team unit. He has been, really, really reliable for those backup quarterbacks as a reliable target for them to target. So really liking what I'm seeing from Ja'Corey Brooks, wide receiver out of Louisville. And then some other younger players that I have been really impressed by here. Luke McCaffrey, the wide receiver out of Rice, who had a good offseason program, and with Terry McLaurin out of the lineup, was asked to kind of take a lot of first team reps right now and kind of prove, kind of earn his stripes as a starting receiver. And to this point, he's been looking pretty darn good. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's going to do the rest of camp here, and he's definitely going to make the most of his opportunities while Terry McLaurin is still not locked up and he is holding out. Another young player, second-year player that has played well is Tyler Owens, who I would consider a winner because we've been talking about all offseason who's going to play that bandit safety role. We have speculated potentially Jordan McGee playing that role at times. But McGee is playing quite a bit out there with the first team offense. Right now, the Commanders are playing a lot of 3 linebacker sets with Frankie Louvu playing as a outside linebacker type in a 4-3 underfront. And when they go to that, Jordan McGee is that other linebacker that is playing beside Bobby Wagner. So I would say Jordan McGee is another winner here because he is playing a true linebacker role. But that means Tyler Owens is playing that true big nickel bandit safety role that we have been talking about all offseason long here. And he is looking really, really good out there. Like I said, he had an interception on Marcus Mariota yesterday. He has had some pass breakups with the first team defense as well. He's an athletic freak, guys. He's huge. He's really athletic. He moves like unlike any other player on the Commanders defense, frankly. With somebody that's big moving the way that he does, it really is a marvel to see. And it seems like this Commanders coaching staff has done a hell of a job developing him over his rookie season and into his offseason here. He's looking like he could be a good player to replace Jeremy Chin in this defense this season. Then some veteran winners that I would say have improved their positioning here. We'll start with Percy Butler, who is a special teams ace. Got to play a little bit of safety last year. Didn't look great, but he did get locked up to a 1-year extension. So I think that by default makes him a winner, and he's going to be a special teams mainstay on this roster. So good for him. Then Javon Kinlaw, the defensive lineman that they brought in, he cut a lot of weight this offseason, so he looks almost like a defensive end with the way that he looks right now, but he still brings the same bull rush, the same power, the same athleticism, that same first step explosiveness that got him drafted in the first round. It's all still there, and it's looking like he's going to be playing pretty much a defensive end type of role, almost like a 5 technique, because in that 4-3 underfront, right, Frankie Louvu is coming in as that kind of pseudo second edge rusher, playing at the line of scrimmage, which means Javon Kinlaw would be that 5 technique type of player. So that's really exciting to see him really come into his own here and look like he could be worth that pretty large contract that he got in free agency. And then the final veteran that I want to point out as a winner is Von Miller, who is just, he's looking like every bit the part of the designated pass rusher in this group. I'm really excited to see what he's going to look like in this defense. Because you got that defensive line now, that looks like Von Miller on one side, Frankie Louvu on the other side at edge rusher. Then you've got Deron Payne in the middle. Then you got Jerzon Newton at 3 tech, and then you've got Javon Kinlaw at 5 tech, and that is a really talented offensive or defensive line right there, guys. And Von Miller's looking like he can still very much attack pass rusher or the passer, and he is looking every bit the pass rusher that he was last year in Buffalo when he had a 16% pass rush win rate, which is pretty darn good. So very excited about Von Miller. He seems happy to be here in Washington, so that is all fantastic. Some losers to this point. Obviously, it's early, but there are some players that have certainly lost some positioning here because of some of the winners and what they've been able to do. I would say Jonathan Jones is one of those guys. He came in here probably wanting to be a starting corner. Right now, he is not a starting corner. He's playing with the second team with rookie Trey Amos already playing ahead of him. Another quote-unquote loser that I would say is probably definitely Terry McLaurin, because he's not out there. Obviously, we want to see Terry out there. Another one at receiver would probably be Noah Brown, who's still not out there in team periods. He is warming up out there, and he's looking pretty good, but he's still not practicing fully here. And then probably anyone else in the edge rusher room, not named Frankie Louvu or Von Miller, Cleveland Ferrell, maybe not Dorrance Armstrong. Armstrong is playing quite a bit with the first team offense as well, but Cleveland Ferrell, Jacob Martin, Dietrich Wise, a lot of these guys will still rotate in, but I think a lot of these guys probably expected to be starters this year, and with the addition of Von Miller and then Frankie Louvu playing a lot of edge, so far in camp, those guys' roles have probably been reduced a little bit. But, overall, I think I'm really liking what I'm seeing from the team guys. We've seen the offense play well and be efficient with Jaden Daniels. We've also seen the defense fly around and make plays. And I'm really liking the defensive structure that they're bringing here, making Frankie Louvu still a linebacker who can go out into coverage, but, somebody that can also attack the passer. I love that role that they're putting him into. I think it's perfect for him. And I'm really excited to see what this Commanders defense is going to be able to do this year. So that's going to be my recap here of the first kind of chunk of Commanders training camp practices. If you guys want more updates on the Commanders throughout training camp, of course, beginning tomorrow with yet another practice, make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Really do appreciate all of your guys' support. Until next time, guys, go raise them hell.